All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are now going to progress with this calligraphy to another level. This is an assignment that I've given to my students for quite a few years. Let me back this out just a little bit so you can see the whole thing. And it says, add elegant details to every wedding invitation, address holiday cards, design birth announcements, and personalize gifts written with marker pen. Now I took that from here. This was an example of word spacing and layout. They're not even complete sentences. And I will put this in your Google Classroom packet. I will make a copy of it and put it in there so that you could download this. You could copy it off and print it if you would like, and not just work from the YouTube video. When you're looking here, you want to try to keep your letters spaced at a decent angle, and we're going to try to put words together. Now, Sophia Williams did this a few years ago, and I just kept it because it's a really good example. And she started with some practice at the top, and she did some capitals, and she went through each of the capital letters once, and then she put her name. What I'd like you to do is I would like you to learn how to do this way. We're going to start this calligraphy with a pencil today. And I'm going to show you how I do calligraphy when I'm trying to do something written. Because just to write it in pen is difficult when you're trying to figure out spacing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay a white sheet of paper right over the top of my lined paper. You can just barely see those lines coming through. Up at the top, I'm going to practice just my small letters in pencil. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V. Well, you have to come down to the next line. W, X, Y, and Z. All right. Then I'm going to put my name here right after that. And I'm going to write this also in pencil. I'm not going to do my middle name this time. I want to leave enough space in there between my first name and my last name. You can just see this very lightly. And then Bolzman, B-O-L-Z-M-A-N. All right. Now, here's the idea behind this. If you write this out very lightly in pencil, you have an idea about the spacing. Now I'm going to take out that O right there because I don't want to write that in. So now you can go over your letters, practicing your letters. I'm not going to necessarily exactly trace each one of those, but I'm going to use it as an example for spacing. So I'm going to put my line sheet right underneath my regular sheet. You could use a couple pieces of tape to hold it together if you would like. That works well. I'm just going to go ahead and line it up here. So I'm going to do my small letters. I'm going to go over top of those with a marker. Now, the small letters that I wrote out in pencil, I did very quickly. And I wasn't super concerned with the forms. I was mostly just concerned with the spacing. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go over top with my small letters, H-I-J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q. Now, what you may be seeing there is I'm not exactly, let me go a little closer, I'm not exactly where my pencil lines were. I'm a little bit off from my pencil lines there. That's okay. I'm just going to keep going. R. So now I'm not right over top of my pencil lines anymore, but I still have a pretty good idea. Q, R, S, T, U, V. I'm going to come down to this next row. Here's my W, X, Y, and Z. All right. Now I'm going to do my name. I'm signing my name on here also at the same time. So this is just kind of practice before I do this add elegant details, which is going to take a little bit longer. All right. So here's my name. Now I have it written out first in pencil, so I have a pretty good idea about my spacing already. I know I'm not going to go run off the edge of the page with the N over here or anything like that. There you can see the whole thing. R, E, Y. Now I have that space for my letter there. Here's my back, B, O, L, Z, N, A, N. Now, the idea behind this, and when I do something professionally for people, if they ask me to do some calligraphy for them, I will almost always invariably write it out in pencil first, and then I will take a kneaded eraser or a factus eraser or the back of a pencil eraser, and I will lightly, I'll show you how you can use all three. I know that you probably don't have a kneaded eraser at home, so you could use a regular pencil eraser. If you don't write your letters very dark, if you just do them very lightly, so you can go through and erase, and it looks like you just did it freehand without any help at all. And that's the idea behind this that we're going to use for the rest of the time. I would like you to write them out in pencil first, very, very lightly on the lines. All right, so I'm going to go like this. I'm going to come down, and I'm going to go to the next double solid line right here. And it says add elegant details. Now when Sophia did hers, it took her about this much room. I think I might skip a line. See if I can skip a line. And I don't know if I can fit everything in there quite like what she did, but maybe that would give me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I should be able to do that. She did hers in 5. So if I come down here and skip a line, that would be good. Or I could just move my paper up a little bit. Maybe I'll do that. I'll put that line sheet. I'm going to make a little bit more space there. So I'm going to have a little bit more space between my letters in here. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at this, add elegant details, this sheet right here, and I'm going to write this out in pencil. I want to leave a margin of at least 1/2 inch from the side over here. So I'm going to start to write this out. Add elegant. Now I'm going to leave a space of about an O there. Elegant. details, leave another space of an O, add elegant details to, I can fit the 2 on here also. Leave a space of an O, 2. And then I have some room in the margin over there. Now, when Sophia did this, she left quite a bit. She went a lot smaller with her letters, and then she left quite a margin over there. She did hers very similar to how this was done and set up. And that's fine. I'm doing mine a little bigger. Add elegant details to, now I'm going to come down to the next double solid line. See, this started on a double solid. This was an ascender. This is a descender. So I'm going to come down here and I want to leave about the same margin. Add elegant details to every wedding. Leave some space. I'm just writing it out in pencil. To every wedding invitation. Leave some space. I-N-V-I-T-A-T-I-O-N. Period. Add elegant details to every wedding invitation. So that's a sentence right there. Now I'm going to come down to the next double solid line. Address. Holiday. Leave some space here. Holiday. And you can be working right along with me on this. You could from the start. Address, holiday, cards. Leave some space here. Period. Design. I don't think I can fit design right there. It would be too cramped. So I'm going to drop down to the next line down here. Design, birth announcements. So I'm going to start, leave a margin from the end. Let's see if I can get that up a little bit more. Design. Design, birth, leave some space between your words. Design, birth announcements. Now I'm going to need to fit announcements in here, so I'm going to need to pack it in a little bit. A, N, N, O, U, N, C, E. And we're going to make it M, E, N, T, S. Yes, just made it. Now, I may need to make birth a little bit smaller, and I may need to pack design in there a little smaller when I do that in my marker, because that's not a lot of space in there. So I may need to make those a little smaller. That's okay. Design birth announcements. And drop down to the next double solid line. And now sometimes your ascenders and your descenders kind of run into each other a little bit, and you can play around with that too. Sometimes you can move your words one way or the other. Birth announcements and personalize. Personalize. personalize gifts. Leave a space. Gifts, period. Written with marker pen. Now here, I could, if I don't want to stay right here, I might want to move it over just a little bit. Written with marker pen. I think I can fit that whole thing on one line. And I think I'll start it over here. Written. If I can't fit it all in one line, it's okay because I have room down below. Leave space with leave a space, marker, oops, go up to your sender. And maybe I'll just put the word pen down here on the next line. It's okay. There's room. Okay, so this is how you can lay this out. All right, when you lay it out, you can figure out how you want it to be. If later on when we're doing something for real, this is just a practice layout. When we're doing something for real, you can write it out a couple different times in pencil to figure out how you want the letters to go. All right, so let's first of all add elegant details to every wedding invitation, address holiday cards, design birth announcements, and personalize gifts written with marker pen. Okay, so there you go. Now, over top of these pencil lines, now I'm going to go and work the marker, the calligraphy marker, and start to put these in for real. Now I can move things around a little bit. Takes a little concentration. I can move things around a little bit if I want to still with this. That feels better. And the actual letters may not be exactly as the pencil letters were. That's okay. So the whole idea here is you can go over the whole thing in the marker, and then at the end, take an eraser. Once it's dry, please make sure that the ink is dry. I usually wait a minute or two. And you go over the top of it and you erase all of this out. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'll see if I can come back and show it to you finished. So I'm going to end this stream and hopefully show it to you right at the end. All right, so we're back here live, and what I did is I just went through with my marker and wrote out on top of all those pencil lines. So now I have this all done. You can see some of those pencil lines coming through in places. So I'm going to go back with a kneaded eraser. You can use any kind of eraser as long as it doesn't leave streaks. Oh, you can see right there, I forgot to dot that I. So I'm going to go back in there and do that. Sometimes you can see places where the letters didn't quite line up all the way. And you can go back with a black ink pen. There are some tricks that you can do with this. If you want to go back, or with a Sharpie marker. But I'm going to use a black ink. Like some of these places, like with this right here with this E, maybe I want that to run up to the G. A couple places where the letter just didn't quite form all the way. You can go back and you can put in some little details with a black pen. That works good. Like this V right here, it didn't match up exactly, so I can go back and touch that up. So those are some of the tricks that you can use with this. So I'm just going to go through and erase. And see how nice that looks when it's not on a lined sheet. The lines are underneath it. They're in the sheet underneath it, so you can see through it. But it looks really, really nice if you don't have it on the lined sheet, like we did for all the practices. And the sooner that you can start working on a blank white sheet with the lines underneath it, the easier it is to transfer over to this. All right, so I have just a little bit more erasing to do here. And this is done. Now this is a really good practice session to add elegant details. That's very good. I was not planning on having you turn this in for a grade. This was just going to be a practice. What I'm going to have you turn in for a grade would be the Pledge of Allegiance. So this was a practice for spacing. I like to do a lot of practice first before we take a lot of grades. So there's your add elegant details, and hopefully that will help you as you're setting up your calligraphy to do it in pencil first, go over top of it in the marker, and then erase out the pencil. And it works really well. So hope this was helpful. Thank you.